In the early 20th century, millions of immigrants came to America, chasing a dream that often turned into an exhausting reality. Among them were Nicholas Sacco, a shoemaker, and Bartolomeo Vanzetti, a fish peddler. They were simple, working-class men, but they shared a powerful, dangerous ideology: anarchism. This belief, this trust in individual freedom over government authority, would ultimately cost them everything. In April 1920, a robbery and murder took place in Massachusetts. The police were under intense pressure to find suspects. When Sacco and Vanzetti were arrested, they were carrying firearms, a common practice at the time, but interpreted by the authorities as immediate evidence of guilt. The facts of the crime quickly became secondary to the identity of the suspects. No bail was set. They were held not because of irrefutable evidence, but because of their political beliefs. In the atmosphere of the Red Scare, any anarchist or radical immigrant was a public enemy. For the legal system, these two men were already convicted before the trial even began. The man presiding over the case was Judge Webster Thaler. Privately, he made his hatred of the defendants clear, calling them Bolsheviki and anarchistic bastards. His prejudice was not subtle. It was a driving force of the trial. It was not a search for truth, but a political execution wrapped in a veneer of legality. The prosecution focused less on bullet comparisons and more on the fact that these men had avoided the draft and held radical view. They were painted as enemies of the state, not just common criminals. The trial became a referendum on anarchism itself, demanding that these outsiders pay the price for society's fear. After weeks of testimony riddled with contradictions and bias, the inevitable arrived. The jury delivered its verdict: guilty of first-degree murder. The injustice was complete, sealing the fate of two men based on their politics and ethnicity. The sentence was death. For 7 long years, appeals were filed, rejected, and denied, despite compelling evidence emerging that pointed away from their guilt. They spent their time in a state of living death, the electric chair waiting, the full weight of judicial injustice pressing down. The world watched aghast. From Paris to Buenos Aires, mass protests erupted. The world saw the Sacco and Vanzetti case not as a murder trial, but as an indictment of American justice, a symbol of anti-immigrant and anti-radical hysteria. The injustice suffered by two men became a rallying cry for millions. Despite the global pleas, the execution went forward on August 23, 1927. In his final moments, Vanzetti delivered the timeless, heartbreaking summary of their fate. "I am suffering because I am a radical, and indeed, I am a radical. I have suffered because I am Italian, and indeed, I am an Italian." Their lives were taken, but the question of their guilt remained forever. Half a century later, in 1977, Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis officially proclaimed that Sacco and Vanzetti had been treated unjustly. It was a belated acknowledgement, too late to save their lives, but crucial for their legacy. The case of Sacco and Vanzetti remains a chilling reminder of the dangers of letting prejudice, fear, and political bias corrupt the scales of justice.